Hello! I'm so excited to be back with you guys. Today and yesterday have been kind of crazy at work. So I am so looking forward to sitting down and unwinding tonight and doing some fun things. So the project that I want to work on tonight, it is another mask make, and we'll see how many we can actually get done because it's a little, well, we'll see. We'll see how complicated it ends up getting. Basically, I took some inspiration from a couple of people. One, Angel from AngelSJunk. Totally check out her channel. Her stuff is incredible. A while back, she made some really cool little playing card notebooks with sewn-in signatures. And then the other piece I took from Natasha at Treasure Books, also a million different ideas. And she did several different kinds of little notebooks, and she did one with rings that I think would be really cool. So what I did, I was cleaning out some paper and I created just a load here. So we're going to see what we can create with these. I do have one here. I didn't want to get too far into the process, so I've got one here. So I wanted to show you what I did to get to this point. So I took several small pieces of paper, and these are pretty standard regulation size playing cards, and so it's 3.5 tall, and these are 2.5 wide, so I did 5 wide by 3.5 tall, just several pieces of colored paper that I can't think of any other place to use it. So I'm putting a load of those together, making sure that the folds are all on the same side. Okay. If you have any that you want to split up because the colors are too similar, do that. You might need to trim it because they might not be super exactly exact. That is okay. We don't care about exact. Then I'm going to take first, already lying to you. I'm going to go ahead and stick these together. And I made a small template off of just a little offshoot, and I did one in the middle and then worked my way out. I think these are real close to 3/4 of an inch. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my pencil. I am going to line this up here. Again, perfection is not 100% necessary. And I'm just going to make a little dot in each one of these holes. Oops, towards the center. Okay, so I'm also going to take my 2 cards. One will be like this, and one will be like this. But the nice thing is, if you get it upside down, doesn't matter. It'll be fine. One of the benefits of working with playing cards. So I'm going to add these to my stack. And of course they're going to move a little because they're a little slippery. And I'm just going to get all this put together, lined up on the same side so that if I have to trim, I can. And I'm just going to come in here with the small side of my crocodile. I have this at, what do I have that at? Oh my God, I can't even see it. 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch. Ish. And I am going to, not that it really matters a whole lot because I've got my little dots, and I'm just going to punch through the whole mess at once. Making sure I'm still lined up. If you want to go in a little more, out a little more, whatever you would like is totally fine. And just, all right, so there you go. There's your little packet. Giant mess of little paper boogers. Get these out of our way and can continue. Now, so the other thing I did, I was naughty and I went and I bought I bought an embossing machine. The one that I have is really little. I got it a long time ago. It's half broken, half the pieces are missing. So I decided to just bite the bullet and I got one. Just got it out of the package today because I wanted some texture on these. So we've got some with some lines, oops, some with some stars, and some with some polka dots. So I think this will look really cool. Now we need to do a little bit of experimenting because these have a surface on them, right? So I want to use ink to put some texture on it before we decorate them, but I do have gesso that we can put on top if we need to, if we have some issues with stuff with the ink coming off. So let's start with, do we have one extra? I reorganized and now I don't have anything extra. All right, well, let's do this. Let's start with the one that's not embossed yet, because we can still get just a fine feel for how that's going to work. So I'm gonna put this down and we're gonna do a little test. Thinking we probably won't go super dark, so let's just start with some vintage photo. I'm gonna try a couple of different options. I'm gonna try, where's my little? I'm just gonna go little. Here's the distress ink. Let's see if this is going to stick. Let it sit for a second. I'm gonna also come in here with the archival in vintage photo and see what that does. We're just experimenting, so if it all falls apart, we're doing it together. I like the color, both of them actually. So let's see. Does that stick? It does. Does this stick? Not as well. Now, if I rub really hard, it does come off. But it could be that I didn't let it dry long enough. Let's do another little bit of an experiment. Where's the clear gesso? Here's our clear gesso. Shake this up. I haven't used it for a while. We have clear and we also have white. The other thing we could do is we could put a layer of tissue paper over the top because that works good too. I want a small brush. Let's see. We will figure this out together. Or we won't, and we'll just have a fun time learning what not to do. Also a valid experiment. Okay, let's just put, can always gesso over the top too. If we, because gesso can also act, It's a surface prep, but you can seal stuff in with it as well. So let's let this dry for a second, and we will figure out the method that we want to use. Or maybe there's a couple methods. Maybe there's more than one. This stuff dries really fast, which is really nice. Okay. Now, let's try this again. What this will tell us is how many of what different colors we're able to use on this. Okay, so there's that. There's that. Let's see what we end up with. All right, that still wants to not play nice. Better. All right, so I'm gonna say, let's stick with our archivals. We're gonna leave this, but I do think it's a good idea to go ahead and gesso these. So let's first gesso everything. Well, we'll gesso these ones first. Okay. And then, because we've got them here, remember, we're going to make this grungy, so it really doesn't matter if your gesso is perfect. We could do another layer on top as well if we are concerned. But I'm going to set these aside, and I want to work with one that we have sent through the embosser. I'm going to start with this one. Now, I don't know if it is because it's thicker or what, but this particular envelope created some cracks and everything else, but I think that might be okay because it will make it look cool. So let's go ahead and put a layer of gesso. And if we decide we need to add a backing piece on this, we surely can. And I'm thinking we might want to try a couple of different ways of putting these together as well. All kinds of options, so we'll see what we end up with. Okay, close this off, let it dry. You could use matte medium too if you have that and you don't have a clear gesso, or you could use white gesso, also totally fine. And I don't think I have a cup of water. I only have a cup of coffee for coffee staining. I'm gonna put this in my thing, and let's see if we can manage to not spill it. That's kind of a tall order. My guess is probably no. Because this does dry so fast, and because these cards have plastic in them, I'm not gonna hit them with my heat tool because I'm a little scared. Ooh. Look at that, it's already coming apart. All right, well, while we're waiting for this to dry, we're gonna turn it upside down and we're gonna reinforce it with something. So we've got lots of spring colors here. So I'm thinking that this would be a nice option. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's glue stick these guys right onto this paper, and then we can cut it out and we can repunch it if we need to. Oh boy, that's a lot of glue. It ought to hold. I have a lot of glue. Might even have it seeping through these cracks. That's good to know that for the thicker paper here. That particular embossing envelope is not super fabulous. So many lines, it's basically cutting right through it. But no real worries here. We'll just make it work. Some more. I could have used a bigger piece of paper, I suppose, or had a glue book next to me, but this was kind of impromptu. Wasn't expecting to have to do this, but we will. A couple extra minutes to make sure something's not going to fall apart is always time well spent, in my opinion. Does it not want to stick very well? What's the deal here? I wonder if we'll have to do a layer of art, edge of art glitter. We might have to. We'll find out, I suppose. Or we might find out that we're just gonna bail on this particular one. And don't get in a big hurry. I gotta let it dry. Okay. This here. We'll see how we do. Maybe this is going to be our practice, which is also okay. Nothing wrong with practice. So I thought for decorating these, you don't have to decorate them at all. You could leave them completely blank and just make it just a cute little notebook with no specific decoration. Use anything. But I think what I would like to do is use a label and perhaps a little die cut to decorate it. And we will find out too, through trial and error, I'm sure, if it's better to decorate after you get it bound or before. I am going to go ahead and cut the angled corners because I think it's interesting. So let's leave that there. We're doing pretty good. We can always firm it up later too. All right, so while we're at it, let's go ahead and punch those little holes. Put your holes back in. Why is it so hard to talk while you're punching a hole? I don't know. But it surely is. I need to not be impatient because, whoa, sorry about that. It only takes a second to poke that out. Oh, there we go. All right, that one, and here. Here, and if I can mostly see, that's okay, but if I can't, then that's not helpful at all. I cannot. In a few weeks, I'm going to be traveling for work, and I am trying to figure out how on earth am I going to be able to have fun craft time with you guys if I'm out of town. Maybe, I don't know what I'm going to do. Lose my mind, I'm sure. Okay. So now let's get these ready. This must be one that I have not trimmed yet. Or maybe I just, looks a little wonky. We might have to trim it up and fix it. Okay. Now, this gesso's dry. Let's go in first with some inking. Let's start with vintage photo because we don't want to be, you know, too crazy. And let's see what kind of interest we can get over that embossing. I like the extra texture that you can get. It looks pretty cool with the white spaces in between. Let me see if we can show there. You can see the white spaces between. So I like that. Let's do this one. This one I even like a little bit better. So what I did a little different here is I went in with a slightly lighter touch. I didn't press down as hard, so you can see the white between there is more consistent. So I'm going to say this is going to be our front and this will be the back, because I like the way that turned out. So if we're gonna try the ring binding using jump rings, then this will sit completely flat when we're done. So we should easily be able to then decorate it after the fact. So let's give that a try. Let me grab here. I don't have a million, but we've got enough. There's some jump ring options, and let's go here, and not that. Everything's getting stuck, not that. It's always, I was gonna say it's always the last one you grab, but of course it's the last one you grab because you stop grabbing once you get what you want. Let's start with silver and see how we fare. So I think what I want to do, just for the sake of a bit of flow, so I think I'm going to open them all. And twisting sideways, never pulling directly. So much for flow. Never pulling out, always side to side, because what that does is it prevents you from distorting the circle itself. So, apparently my counting is great because I've got 6 out, but that is okay. And all right, let's see how we do here. I don't know if it's going to be easier to do the whole thing all the way through, probably, and then attach it, or what our game plan is going to be. So I'm going to start like this, the flat side, flat-ish there. Oops, probably don't want to forget the back. Let's slip that on there. And let's close this guy back up. How's that going to be for... Well, that didn't work well. Oh, hey, look, I can just do it with my fingers. Now we got to see how our spacing is. Here's where... might have a little issue. Okay, so when you're doing it on the corner, be careful, because if you're on the wrong side, it's hard to get back over that corner. So we need to be more careful about staying on this side here. So let's try that again. The mechanics of this remind me of trying to get a coiled ring in a piercing. And no matter how many times it's like, oh yeah, duh, it goes that way. Can never remember. Right. It went out. Okay, so this isn't going to lay super, it's not going to lay as flat as I had hoped, because these aren't super big jump rings. But that might be okay. Let's see how it goes. Oops, that's exactly right where you can't see anything. So that is not helpful. Let's keep trying to pay attention here. That's not going to be big enough space. Let's toss that in here. And if you do end up getting it a little bit misaligned, you can wiggle it forward a little bit, just carefully though. No hurry, essentially. Let's see how this goes here. All right, so there's our base. I think that's a cute little notebook. Plenty of writing space. You can get it, it opens pretty far. Not completely flat, you know, but it opens pretty good. Nice for little, just a little note, toss it in the purse. All right, so I think that was pretty successful. Oh, this was our front, wasn't it? Yep, we said it was. And we could trim it up. Let's see. Let's go ahead and trim it up. Looks like we've got, and it doesn't have to be exact. You could say, do we even want to trim it up? Is it close enough? I feel like this guy in the middle is a little excessively long. So let's just take the little list off of there to get that not so obviously out. And we're going to call that number 1 done and ready for decorating. So here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to pause you. I'm going to put all my jump rings in, and then I will come back and we can have more fun decorating. So I will be right back. Okay guys, quick note, as I started doing this, make sure that when you pull your cards off to do your gessoing, keep them with your stack of paper that you punched them out with, because there's going to be some variation in exactly where your holes are, and this will make for lining it up better and easier. So, all right, back at it. I am quite pleased that I've remembered that we said we were going to try more than one binding method, which is really good because I have to be honest, putting those jump rings in is kind of annoying. So let's move on to something different. Let's do some with twine. Baker's twine. How about a purple? Let's see. I'm going to make it easy on myself, and we're going to go like this. Maybe easy on myself. All right. Now, oh, fell in my desk. So we've got one more done with the jump rings. Now let's grab our little stars here. Line these guys up, and we'll have to decide if we want to sew all the way through like a little pimple stitch, or do we want to do one at a time? Let's start in the middle and then we'll decide. So, way more than I need. Here, I go there, bit of a pamphlet stitch, little figure 8, looks pretty cute. Are we going to be able to get it tight enough though? Let's see. Now if we do that, it's not going to open all the way. So we'll probably want to leave it a little loose, or just pull it and tie it. I wish I could hear people's ideas and thoughts while we're doing it. What happened here? Oh, we just got stuck. That's all. We're just going to keep going and see what we end up with. We're just experimenting. All right, now let's clip her off here, and let's tie a little knot. Do we want the 2 or the 4 to be our front? Do we care? We might not even care. We're gonna do the 2. All right, which one went? Every time, I can never remember which one went over and which one went under. Oh well, good enough. Good enough, guys. Little bow. Too big of a bow. Smaller bow. All right. So there is that. Now, one thing, if you do your ties this way, you probably want to do your inking first, because you're not going to be able to easily get over here. All right, let's see what we got going here. Let's do raspberry here on the front of this one. And I don't think I have a dauber with this color, but I want to do a quick look. Maybe I do. I don't see one. I'm going to use this. It's pale pink. Doesn't have a whole lot on it. Oh, let's keep that with there. So this is not one that we use a ton of. So let's see. Oh, that's bright. Ooh, pretty. Okay, I'll take it. This one might have been a little better with a dome, but that's okay. I'm just gonna go right over these and say it's okay if we get a little on there. Lighter hand. Let's see how this goes. A little better. A little more ink, but a little lighter hand. I can live with that. Let's get that star a little brighter. Oops, got a little out of control. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Still cute. All right, so there's some pink. I do think I like the more vintagey look. So I think I want to stick with more of the brown. Maybe we could do, I don't have a blue. The blue I only have is the Distress. So let's stick with, oh, we could do a gray. How about a gray? Why not? Now I'm going to go ahead and use the black with the gray and see. Yeah, there's not a ton in there, so let's take some gray and see. Going super light on this one. Oh, that's cool. Barely touching. Flip it and do the same. Barely touching. Oops, got a little heavy there. It just gives us a nice bit of not only tactile texture, but also visual texture. Still think I like the brown the best. I have a feeling we're going to be doing more of that. Okay, so this is black. That over here. And what else do we got? We've got our ground espresso, we've got red, and then here's our black. Let's put this back where it goes so we don't lose it. All right, so totally out of order, but let's go back to our vintage photo. Oops. Might have to start using a new one here on this guy. This is quite a bit more forgiving. I don't want to make a huge mess here, so that's quite a bit more forgiving, I think. And it goes on. Oh, the stars are so fun. You could even do multiple colors if you wanted. Let's see, can we? I sure like that. And taking off all that stark white is nice too. I prefer the creamier color. Now, if you wanted, you could always cover the inside with another piece of paper we talked about. I'm kind of okay with it like this. There's that. Let's go ahead and do this one. I'm really questioning the other one like this because it is even worse as far as how bad it cut through. So I'm thinking we might just have to be one less than we planned on. but that's okay. Sometimes that happens. Put this on here. And if you do lighter touch, but with more passes, you're going to get more contrast between your embossing and your base. Right, there's those. What else do we got? I know we had, so there's that one. Here's this one. Oh, here. The plain one. I'm just gonna be messy on this one and see what we think about that. Not even at all. Just around, taking off the white and leaving it patchy. Okay. So what else shall we try? We've tried those like this. Let's try, some individual little knots. And I don't want to go super bright, although we've got our bright, I guess we have our bright papers, don't we? So, and where? Oh, right here. Okay, I'm just gonna cut a bit off. We might need more, but no worries there on that front. Got that through on the first time, so let's throw our 6 and our queen. Let's see what we got going on. You could also, well, that didn't work out starting on that side. Might have to do some sort of reinforcement there. We'll see. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. I bet it was going to be great. Okay, I don't remember what it was. All right. I really don't know why I'm fumbling around with this when, again, guess what? There's this magic tool right here called a paper clip. Just use it. I'm just going to tie a knot and cut it off. Through. And tie a little knot. I'm leaving awful long hangers here. Don't really need that much. Probably don't even need it on a needle, but I guess those could look kind of cute too, couldn't they? Where are you? Okay. Well, now that I said that, I suppose I'm going to have a difficult time. Yep. All right, let's go this way. Fumbly, fumbly, fumbly. Looks like a spider without the little feet. Let's see. Well, come on. How silly can you be? All right, let's see what this guy does. Yeah, that works, doesn't it? Okay. Oh, poor guy, what happened to you? Oh, buddy. He got cut awful short. Oh, he's staying. Need to not get in such a big hurry. There we go. He got a little short haircut right there on that one, but that is okay. Here, let's balance it out. There you go. Close enough, huh? All right. There's another one down. One more. Remember when I said I was going to pause so that you wouldn't have to be bored? Well, here I am, boring you to bits. What else could we use? Now, we could go in and put eyelets in each one. However, I do feel like that would get quite tedious over time to try to do a bunch like that. Let's see. Anything else here that might work and be fun? What about this? What about a little bit of gold ribbon? That might be kind of fun. And maybe, no idea how we want to sew this, but we're just gonna wing it because we're crafting. It's Wednesday and just cuz. All right, now what would happen, do you suppose, if we kind of tried to do this? Oh, it would miss. Let's say, what if we did it kind of fun, like a pair of shoes? But maybe instead of that, maybe we just go through each way like this and leave a nice tail at the top. And then we take some of this and we go the other direction. Can we make that work? Since this is a little bit thick. Let's see. Oh, yep, we totally can. Now, we probably, for the sake of not looking like a big mess, really want to straighten some of this out. If we can. this we can flip-flop around. Like that. Through here. Well, I wasted quite a bit, but that happens. All right, and now we're going to tie it off at the top. With a bow. Not that big of a bow. That's obnoxious. Which is this big of a bow. Do we want the 9? No, 9 is going to be the front because otherwise the bow is on the bottom. I think that's cute. All right. Let's trim him a little bit. Now, we might trim it more, but since we can't take it off after it's done. All right, one left, guys, and then we decorate. So here's our options so far. Any, excuse me. I like the shiny, that's fun. Where's this? How about this? How about another version? Ooh, which one? Well, while I'm being indecisive, let's go ahead and thread our needle. Oh man, silliness. Okay. In an effort to be efficient, I'm going to make a decision that we can put 3 elements on each. And that's it. No more. 3, 3, 3, 3. All right. Since we're talking about 3, let's put our 3 on the front. Now, which one do we want? Kind of like this. Do I? Or do I like this? How's this open? Let's see. Does that open pretty okay? It does. Let's do that. And wherever we start is where we'll end. So let's start at the top. Oops. Out of the way. And let's just go for it. This is so quick. Or we could do like a little whip stitch. I think that's what that's called. Could do a whip stitch down and back. Let's see how that looks. Why not? Oh, I like it because then we're gonna have little X's. Yeah. See, oh, cute. See, always worth an experiment. Always, always, always. Yeah. Oh, super cute. That might even be my favorite. It's pretty sorry little snip of the scissors there. Okay, I'm going to put this back right now before I lose it. And I think that's my favorite. I think if I had to redo them, I had to, if I chose to, and yep, I think that's what I would do. Might even see about putting a second knot in my bow here. Let's see if that's too bulky or not. I don't think so. I think that still hangs okay. Could even put a little bead on there, should you choose. Yep, okay, so it's the whip stitch that makes it really look kind of like a pair of shoes. Super cute. Okay, let's decorate, guys. Get this out of the way. I want to use this out of the way. Might need that. These out of the way. Might need this if we decide to go with the sticker. All right, so we got six little notebooks. You know what? I think I'm going to make this bigger and tie it in a knot like the other one. I'm feeling a little nervous about that coming undone. And if it gets like wonky direction, that's okay. I don't mind that. I'm okay with it. Nope. Just fine. So, well, a little wonky, but who cares? All right, there. Now we've got things knotted. And everything has a knot on it and is not going to easily come apart. Although, you know, if somebody got one of these and they liked it and they used all their little notes and they wanted to just clip the string, restring it when they're done. Put more paper. Let's see what we have here in our new little set. I know the biggest stuff was on top, so let's ditch that because that's probably not going to work. Nope, too big. Stuff, and there's some other little things. Ooh, will that fit? That would. That's cool. That's cool. What else? That could work. The clock is nice. Ooh. I like her better than the thing here. What else do we got in here? Typewriter. That's fitting. A little too big. I know there's other little ones in here. Shoe. Car. Well, that's a cool typewriter too. That's more of a photo. Neat. We could do a lady and a gentleman. Does he fit? He surely does. Hats. Little keys. What do we got here? A little balloon. Oh, a little bicycle. Top hat. That key would fit. What else? Oh, I like the little telephone. We could even do two on there. It's so little. Any other in here? Camera. Oh, my husband always knows when I'm getting tired because I laugh at things that are kind of ridiculous. Here's what I was thinking. You call up your friend and you say, I'm going to come on my way over. I might walk or I might ride my bike. I don't know why that came to my mind, but that's exactly what I saw. And so with a story like that, I mean, how can you not put it on there? Oh, here's another little clock. That's cool too. Maybe he wants that clock with him. Maybe she wants to write a letter. I don't know. I think sometimes I think too much into it. All right. Now, what else do we want on here? We said we would do up to 3 elements. So how about we start, and I'm sorry, but I'm saying those count as 1. Die cut. That's an element in my opinion. Nope. That one, let's get it put away. I would not mind a pretty sticker. Definitely a label. Now I've got all these labels that I cut out that I stamped with the different colors and cut out. So let's pick a label or two. And they're in the bright colors, so I think it's okay to kind of use some of these brighter colors. I don't think we want to go with any red. We could go with a pink, maybe. We could go with a purple. That looks nice with that. I don't have all the shapes cut out in all of the colors. And some of the colors I had to put two together because I ran out of slots. What do we want on that fella over there? I'm thinking one of the slightly larger ones. Do I have those cut yet? No. What about a slightly larger one in green? Or, nope, I don't have those larger ones either. Well, what do I have the larger one in? I know that some of these are completely finished, cut out. So, the bright blue. Where did I get these now? There. Here. There we go. That's for him. What do we want here? How about what yellow? We said we didn't want, oops, we said we didn't want red because, come on now, red was too bright. Let's go here with that. Can we put two on there? Maybe two? Perhaps. Now we need, or we could go one in a stamp. Let's see. How about bright purple with that? It's got purple in the background. And I do have the bigger double-edged one here. Yep. I like that. Purple, pink looks fine, blue. I like that the brown is kind of in the front there. All right. Where'd my purple goes here? I don't know if I'm going to use both of these or not. We'll see. But then once we decide, we can zip it right together. Now, what about a postage stamp? We could grab our giant bag of postie stamps, grab a handful, and see would that big one look nice? Something like that. I could live with that. All right. Now, here's a bright purple one. That works for me. Ooh, super bright green. There we go, bright, bright. No. New. We've got that rosy color. That looks nice. And so we've got pink and purple here and blue. What Where'd that go? I just saw one that had 2 colors on it. Here? How's he look there? That looks kind of cool, even though it's not the exact same color. There's a purple one with a lady. Here's a pretty purple one. What else do we got? Oh, that's cool. I think I kind of, well, do I want that there? No, I think I kind of like that here instead of this. And then we'll trim it down a little. Or maybe even stick it on top. I don't know. All right, here's what I think. That's red. I'm going to trim this down a little bit and see what we can end up with and how it might fit in there. If we trim it down just a little more. Yep, like that. So let's trim this down a little more. And I'm going to cut a bit off at an angle so we can get right to the edge. And then I'm going to rip it right there. Yep. Okay, so let's just start assembling. Let's stick with our vintage photo for inking our edges, and we're just going to start building. Too fun. And I didn't overthink it too much, right? Not too much. That's some general improvement. Maybe not a lot, but something. I could stamp on here, but I'm trying to not get too fussy. So let's first put this down. And then, oh, come on, glue. There we go. Then that. Let's put this guy on. Did I ink that? Yes, I did. This off to the side a little, and then this guy. Make sure we get that guy down really good. Cute. Now, this one, phone call to a friend, I'm on my way over. I can feel my energy draining. It's starting to get late. Although I did just drink some coffee, as silly as that is. Do I have 2? Oh, bonus. Look at that. Surprise. We need to trim these off. Where'd scissors go? quite a ton of ink. Put that guy down here. And our stamp is next. Getting the, whoa, getting the shaky, messy hands here. If you go over your little cutout on the corner, that's fine. Just make sure you don't glue your whole notebook shut. That would be quite disappointing. I didn't hold that down. It does, you know, the art glitter glue does stick well and quickly, but when you are working on an embossed surface, you do gotta poke it down a little bit more. A little bit of extra pressure. And our shoe. My stomach is grumbling. How did I end up doing that? Got those overlapped a little bit. I know how, because I wasn't paying as much attention as I should be. It's all right. I can hold them down a little later as well. Okay. You know, this one, I think that clock is so big that we can get away with just the 2 items on here. I think that would be okay. I feel like I should be working faster, but you know, I love watching YouTube, and when I do, I don't mind seeing all the different ideas and just hanging out with my cup of coffee and just watch until the end. So maybe I should just be okay and slow down and not worry so much about it. I think that's what I'm going to try to do here. No worries. No worries. Oh, cat hair. Bonus cat hair. Oh well. 'Tis okay. And another one down. I think this is our last little snips. That's what I like about these particular label stamps, is then when you're cutting them out like in mass, you don't, if you start getting tired, just leave the corners on and cut them off when you're going to use them. These out of the way and bring her down here. I don't even know if I need to use that. Let's go this for now, because we do have that a stamp option to put on as well. Okay, Sitting up here, do we want the lighter purple or the brighter? Let's go lighter for today. More ink on my fingers than on anything else. That is okay. Kind of a hazard of the trade, right? I think I'm going to put this one vertical. Something a little different. Of course, if you've got, you know, a layout that you really like, just remember these are probably going to be going to different people. So if you have a layout that you like and you want to do them all the same, you just go for it. No problem there. I'm afraid on these stamps that because they're so delicate, that if I hold it while I'm trying to put glue on, I'm gonna rip it. Let's get some good glue on her too. Get her done, and we'll have 2 more to go. Definitely what I needed tonight. Plop her there right in the middle. She's pretty big, so I'm going to give her a good amount of pressure there. Can always sneak back in with more glue if you need to. Alrighty, next. I'm gonna leave this on the paper. I think that looks pretty cool. Get a little bit more ink on there than we might otherwise because it's a little sturdier on the paper. A little more on him too. Didn't double check how that was going to look after, but I think it will be okay because this curves over. Yep, will be just fine. And I like how that little bit of pinky purple brings out that rose gold in our binding. So I think that fits together nicely. We'll plop him right there. Yep, she needs some more glue. I can see under the edge of her hat, but that's okay. I'll get that in just a second. Last one. Then we will put all our stuff together and see what we came up with. Now, I hope that this glues okay, because remember, this is our embossed folder that's very deeply embossed. I do like this little pocket watch, so I thought maybe we didn't need it, but we're going for it anyway. A little bit more there on the edge. All right. I think for this, our best bet is going to be to do him first. And we are going to need a good amount of glue on here, because a lot of it's going to seep down into those crevices. We'll see, we might make a giant mess, but we're going to try. You can get playing cards at the dollar store, and we got another fella in our stash there, so if we completely destroy it, we can make another. I think I'm out of these little playing cards. I think this was used up the very end of it. Hopefully we've got enough space for contact right there. Let's see if we can manage this. Come on, glue. Literally have just a couple of pieces left. I'm gonna set it on its side. All that glue and it's still barely oozing out, if at all. So it shows you how much is going in those crevices. I still think it looks really cool and is totally worth it. Let's see. Do we want all of these, or is that too much? It very well might be too much. Nope, it's not. What was I thinking? Too much. We know better than that. We're crafty artists. We like more. More, put more, put more. Let's see, right there. And last is our little clock, our little watch. Down in the corner. I'm going to give this one a good hold and squash. All right. I'm going to say we had a very successful little mass make this evening. Didn't even use the stickers. I was going to use some stickers. Let's shoosh this stuff out of our way and do a quick little recap. So, got this fella, fine gentleman, some music, our lady with our gentleman. Oh, look, we put them both on the ones with the jump rings. Little watch and a pocket watch. So I hope that you had a great time hanging out. I hope you played along, used up some of your scraps, playing cards and extra paper. There we go. Have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday evening, and I will see you guys all next time. Bye.